Coming up tonight on CTV News, multiple bike accidents around town have sparked concern for police officers, but will they make any changes? And a local medicinal marijuana store that might be the first recreational pot store in Fort Collins. Plus, an inside look at the spring fashion show. All this and much more coming up on CTV News. Hello and welcome to CTV News. I'm Katie Spencer.
And I'm Brynn Carman. Thanks for tuning in. Bicycling and driving in Fort Collins can be a flustering and treacherous experience. With the recent spike of bike versus vehicle collisions in Fort Collins, it reminds the community of the potential dangers of cyclists and drivers sharing the road. In 2009, the state legislative enacted the Bicycle Safety Act to give drivers and cyclists a clear picture of their responsibilities on the road. Colorado has some of the most specific bike laws in the nation, and the general rule for bicyclists is that they should ride as far to the right as possible when being overtaken by a vehicle. In addition to this, by law, Colorado bicyclists are allowed to be in the middle of the lane if there is no shoulder or bike lane, or if traffic is slow.
Drivers need to be a little more aware of bikers because it is Fort Collins and it's a bike town and people are going to be biking everywhere. But bikers also have to take into account, they have to follow the rules of the road too. Yeah, there's always the fear of being run over.
With the laws clearly stated, both bikers and drivers need to be more courteous and careful when sharing the road.
Renovations for the brand new Foothills Mall are underway. After 10 years of planning, the Alberta Construction Company has broken ground for this $300 million project to begin. Parts of the mall will stay open during renovations. The new mall is expected to be larger, have a new Cinemark movie theater, and the construction company hopes the mall will be completed by the winter of 2015.
The Mason Express transit system has been in the works for the last 15 to 20 years. It took the city and community a long time to lay the groundwork for the project. Construction began 2 years ago and will be completed May 10th. The Mason Express, also more commonly known as MAX, is an $87 million project in total and will cost civilians $1.25 per way. There will be 5 big green MAX buses zooming around the north-south corridor, serving the community Monday through Thursday, 5 a.m. to 12:30 a.m.
We're looking at it for, obviously, CSU students, faculty, employees are a huge market because it runs right through campus, and knowing that might help somebody from not having to take their car down and look for parking. Otherwise, we've got...
Denise White, Public Relations Coordinator with the City of Fort Collins, hopes to get a wide variety of people using MAX to get around town.
Choice Organics in Larimer County is applying to become one of the first recreational marijuana dispensaries in the county. Since they are not located in the city of Fort Collins, the county is making the ultimate decision on the recreational license.
This is the Durban.
After months of deliberation and debate in Larimer County over the sale of recreational marijuana, the decision is coming up quickly.
I think it'll affect us, but I don't think you'll see what you saw on January 1st in Denver.
Erica Freeman is the co-owner of Choice Organics, a medical marijuana dispensary in Larimer County that is going for their recreational sales license. The process began last October when they first applied for a recreational license, and the decision is expected within the next few weeks.
Staff is recommending approval of both. There was no real opposition so far that has surfaced for Choice Organics. Same thing with Flower Power Botanicals. So I would anticipate that they would both be issued.
Now, Freeman said that she doesn't expect a line like there was in Denver the first day of recreational marijuana dispensaries, but she is expecting a big business boom.
All we can do is try to plan for something that we have no idea what to expect for. And it's up to our commissioners and it's up to what happens in that last meeting.
If the license is approved, there would be some regulations put in place, including a ban on the sale of edibles.
And there's going to be a difference because edibles are a really big seller. A lot of people don't like to smoke. And so the thing with the recreational side is there's not going to be allowed to have edibles over there. So it's a give and take.
Kaplan said in the time she has worked at Choice Organics, she has seen customers who have experienced pain relief because of their product.
It's fun to watch, to see them come in upset and hurt, and then they come back and they're smiling and they're happy. It feels good.
Now, the owners say that people have already been coming in thinking it's a retail marijuana dispensary. Since that decision hasn't been made, all the owners said they can do is wait and see what happens in the coming weeks for the meeting on this decision. And that meeting is on March 18th. 17th, excuse me. Speaking of recreational marijuana, what's the one thing that pairs with smoking it? It's the munchies, of course, but are these foods you're eating really that healthy? They might be genetically modified.
And later, get an exclusive look inside this year's spring fashion show. Don't go away.
I see it!
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Genetically modified food, or GMO, is a term that often holds a lot of controversy. CTV reporter Meg Dudenhafer takes an in-depth look at the topic.
It is on this farm that Marcia and Ken Westenhafer harvest locally grown produce and fish. The 5,000 square foot greenhouse produces over 4,000 heads of lettuce each month from start to finish in this assembly line process. Through their aquaponics system, raising fish and produce work collectively together in producing nutrient-rich products that contain no pesticides.
And all of this happens naturally in nature. It's nothing that we've added to the water in order to create that nitrification.
Matthew explains the benefits of aquaponically grown plants having 25 to 30% more vitamins because of their nitrogen-rich water, and tells us his perspective on GMOs.
I have seen benefits in it that it could feed communities that were, say, in rural areas or very poor, but at the same time, we're seeing it in our day-to-day food source. You know, we've got children at 6 years old with peanut allergies and soy allergies, and none of that ever existed when I was in school.
So what are they teaching students about GMOs? We spoke to Professor Brynn, who teaches plant breeding and genetics, to hear what students at CSU are learning.
So I tell the students there's this big gray area in between, and that's where they should be focusing their attention, to try to understand how can we use the technology to reap the benefits while avoiding most of the risks.
According to Burns, many people have a misconception that GMOs are found in almost everything we eat, but tells us of a series of fact sheets he and his colleagues are working on to educate consumers.
I think people can make reasonable decisions about a technology like this once they have good information and an understanding. But in the absence of that understanding, they tend to be overly swayed by emotions.
As for now, the Westenhafers are choosing not to use GMOs to give the consumer local and fresh products. Reporting in Fort Collins, Meg Dudenhafer, CTV News.
Currently, GMO labeling is not required by law in Colorado. However, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has approved a GMO-free labeling. Weather anchor Austin Harley is now here. Thanks for joining us tonight, Austin.
Of course, guys, thanks for having me. I know Jackie couldn't be here tonight because she went to Mardi Gras, where it's nice and warm. However, it's not that warm here. Outside our studio right now, we have a temperature at 44, but it certainly isn't that. The temperature sensor must be a little off because it is actually around 22 right now. Wind chills are out of the west at about, I think, 5 miles per hour. So we have a wind chill sitting in the low 20s right now, so it certainly isn't going to be warm this evening, but there will certainly be even colder later in the week. Let's take a look across the nation for tonight. You can see that a cold front, a very strong cold front called a polar vortex, has pushed southward out of Canada. We had another one of these earlier this winter, and it is frigid. In northern International Falls, Minnesota, -20 this evening. Very cold all across the northern and northeast states. That will push a little bit southwest into Colorado over the weekend, and we'll see a massive drop in what these nice temperatures we've been seeing over the last few days. For now, though, let's take a look at lows across the state for tonight. Here in Fort Collins, 30 degrees tonight, fairly mild for this time of year, 33 in Denver and 21 in Vail. Certainly a milder night for this time of year, but it will be a great day tomorrow, actually. Almost 10 degrees above normal for tomorrow. 51 here in Fort Collins tomorrow, and the mountains will also be as warm. You can see that 27 out on the plains as well. That's tonight's low, but for tomorrow in Lyman, you'll be seeing temperatures in the mid-50s, mid-40s. It'll be a very nice day tomorrow as the winds pick up a little bit in the afternoon. However, there is some snow on the way for the weekend. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast, and we'll see when that's going to be here. Tomorrow is Thursday. Excuse me, tomorrow is Friday. 51 and sunny, and then there's that polar vortex I talked about. 25 and snowing on Saturday. Again, cold on Sunday. Before that system pushes back to the east, we'll be warm for the rest of the week. 40s and 50s. It's going to be great after that. Back to you, Brynn.
All right, thanks, Austin. Now sports anchor Patrick Enslow is here.
Patrick, I'm so excited that the CSU women's basketball team won the championships last night.
Yeah, their first Mountain West title since 2002.
Wow.
And March couldn't come any sooner for the Lady Rams after clinching that title with a final score of 84-64 over UNLV, moving their record to 22-5, which is a dramatic improvement from their 11-19 record last season. This game didn't start well, though, after CSU was down by 5 at half. The deficit climbed up to 9 points early in the second half. CSU then went on a 19-0 run, highlighted by 17 UNLV turnovers. Next up for the Lady Rams is a road game against San Jose State. Unfortunately, the men's came up just short on the road and missed a season sweep of UNLV. The Rams were plagued by a slow start. Their largest deficit was 14 points before they were able to go on a run to bring the game within 1 point with 8:30 left in the second half. This was not enough for the Rams as they fell 78-70. The Rams will head back to Moby to face San Jose State for senior night. From the hardwood to the diamond, baseball is making headlines as Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith is on a nationwide campaign to make opening day a national holiday, which entails 100,000 signatures by March 26. So go online, sign the petition, folks. This falls right behind your duty to go and vote. So go out, sign the petition. It's your civic duty, ladies.
Thank you, Patrick. I will definitely get around to voting for that.
As it should be.
Fashion and merchandising students are getting ready for this year's spring fashion show. CTV got to go back behind the stage to see a few special designs.
You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darks there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future.
My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it. You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
The Department of Design and Merchandising at CSU is preparing for their annual spring fashion show called Rendering Reality. It will feature 25 different collections designed by their seniors. CTV reporter Lena Howland got a sneak peek of the show.
I was inspired by tree bark, actually. I'm a Colorado native, so I always find inspiration in nature, and specifically for this line, both in the texture of tree bark and the colors of fall.
From tree bark to gothic angels, these designers had total creative freedom while putting their collections together last fall.
You do everything from start to finish. So it goes from an illustration to then technical sketches to then some of us have dyed our own fabrics. We've purchased our own, all of us purchased our own fabrics. A lot of us have dyed, created our own fabrics, printed our own fabrics.
It's a wonderful way for them to showcase their hard work, sweat, and tears.
This is their second year at the Lincoln Center, and they hope to fill all 1,200 seats.
Even just being at the Lincoln Center just heightens the excitement and reputation of it even more, so 1,200 is a good goal for us.
And the designers can't wait to officially get their names out there.
It's my debut.
Reporting in Fort Collins, Lena Howland, CTV News.
Before we go, we wanted to remind everyone that Ramride is not operating this weekend because the Ramride staff is at a conference. Whether you have a designated driver, take a taxi, or use the late-night bus service, just make sure you have a safe ride home.
Yes, we definitely want to make sure that everyone gets home safe this weekend without Ramride.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize they went to a conference, so
I didn't either.
I don't know that students would know this otherwise.
Yeah, I think it's really good. We need to make sure everyone gets home safe and there's no drivers on the road.
Especially in the snow this weekend that we're going to have. You know, it's always scary, especially like last 2 nights ago when it snowed and it was so icy out. Yeah, it was bad. I don't know. So just really bad. Be careful out there, everyone.
And if you're drinking, you're not driving.
Yep. Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. Make sure to check out CTV's video on thecollegian.com.
Also, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Collegian Central and search us on Facebook. If you have any story ideas, let us know.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Rams. Good luck with midterms and have a great weekend.